friends, and welcome to episode 184 of The Rewind, a podcast dedicated to keeping its listeners on the cutting edge of the MMORPG Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Well, Drac, normally I take this moment to thank our listeners, but this time I want to thank the official Discord for making my last week's prediction come through. Just when things are at their slowest, we can always rely on Tilted Gamers to bring us Dramagate 2 Electric Boogaloo. If you love what we do here and are in a position to do so, please take a look at our Patreon or YouTube memberships. Drac and I need your help reaching our goal of 20 total pledgers by the end of the year. Another great way to help the channel is to listen to us on your favorite podcast app. We would love your help growing that platform as well. If joining our adventure team is not right for you, we would greatly appreciate you just clicking the like and subscribe buttons to help move the algorithm along. It costs you nothing and does help the channel find new listeners. Lastly, as we get into another round of Dramagate, I need to give the warning again that all viewpoints are valid. Ours, the users with no perspective and terrible grammar, all of us. Make sure, though, when you are posting stuff on the internet, that you proofread what you put out there and have some sort of concept about the subject matter. However, I love laughing at users that don't. Keep your comments coming because even the bad ones get us more clicks. And thanks for listening. Now, on with the show.
The moon's glow shimmered upon the ocean's surface as the adventurers stood on the rocky shore, staring into the abyss below. Anton Duviditis, the Dark Mirror Shaman Glyph Keeper, traced his fingers through the air, invoking a glyph of water breathing. A soft glow enveloped the party, allowing them to descend into the depths with ease. Ziplocks at home in the dark waters guided his group through the ancient coral-covered tunnels. Churrodude and Dwimble, the two gnomes, swam with excitement, their eyes scanning for hidden dangers and lost artifacts. Calorock and Archbishops, the dwarf paladins, trudged cautiously. Their heavy armor enchanted to resist the ocean's pull. Annoying Llama moved with monk-like precision, dodging darting eels and shifting currents. Screech, the Scar Bard, hummed an eerie melody that sent vibrations through the water, revealing a concealed entrance in the reef. They pressed forward, emerging into a vast, air-filled cavern, its walls encrusted with golden coins and forgotten relics. At the center, a stone pedestal held an opalescent pearl, glowing with untapped magic. Before they could claim their prize, the water behind them churned violently. A guardian stirred, awakened from its slumber. The real battle for treasure had only just begun.
This week in Visionary Realms News and Notes.
Today we have special guest Fate, and she is here to give us all the inside information. She is a sacred servant.
Ooh, one of those fancy green names?
Yeah, she's got the green swag over on the Pantheon official Discord. And she is here to set us straight and give us some inside information.
I do like inside information, so anytime we can get that, let's get it.
Let's get it. First topic we're going to discuss is harassing people versus contesting mobs. Fate, take it away.
Wait, isn't that the same thing?
Yes, you're the problem, Douglas.
Oh.
You are the problem.
Oh, we're in trouble.
It is a tricky topic, isn't it? Because it's like, where is the line exactly? The line is basically, if you're following them around just to take their mobs, that's part of the line, right? And I'm sure you heard of all the drama that was happening earlier.
Oh, I love it. Dramagate 2.0?
In the week, yeah.
Yes.
And, that was part of it, was just somebody intentionally sticking to another group that was just trying to, it was all within kind of the same camp, but in like a larger area, and they were sticking close to this other group and just taking everything that they pulled. That's where the real difference is, right? where if it's two groups, it's like two equal-sized groups, and they're like on the other each side of the camp, and they're just pulling stuff, and maybe sometimes they sneak one that the other one pulled or something like that, right? That's contesting. That's just gameplay. But if like you decide that you're just gonna drop yourself on top of another group and take everything that they pull.
I just can't believe that there's people out there that are taking this EA so seriously, and the loot is so important.
No,
And it's this is all going to be wiped. It doesn't matter. Just wait your turn.
So this is not necessarily insider information, but I've heard rumors that there may be something coming along those effects of a wipe.
Oh, that's good to know.
I think Joppa was talking about it on stream a little bit, so
I mean, honestly, this show has absolutely been warning its listeners since the beginning of EA. I think every other week I've had some sort of warning. Be ready, people. Wiping is happening. There'll either be some sort of technical glitch or some sort of exploit.
Duping.
Yeah.
Serious amounts of duping, like all the coin dupes that have been going on recently.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
They've just discovered, I think somebody just discovered another one. So
I'm glad it's happening now. Don't get me wrong. Like, let's close these loops while we can.
Mm-hmm.
But like, to think that people aren't going to exploit this game and we're going to have to start all over again, to not think that is just ridiculous. And I love Joppa. I'm so glad that he does not want to wipe, but I just know better. Right? Like, there's just no chance.
We've been around a little bit longer than that, so we know how the score and how it's formulated.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think like about that line? Like, it's very fuzzy, right? And it's like
for sure
very like just one little tiny step and you're going over. Do you think that Sav did? For the record, I think Sav was 100% correct.
From what I've read, everything looks on the up and up.
I think that I'm just saying, it's like, don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, I get it. And in the moment, and you're just like mowing over stuff, or you think you got to the mob first, or they think they got to the mob first, or you disagree about stuff. That's all fine. All that stuff can be worked out. But to sit there and like follow another group around and just like try to screw with them, that's just completely out of line.
This is like MOBA Gamer.
Yeah. I'm going to find where you live. I'm going to hunt you down, and I'm going to kill you.
How dare you take my jungle mob? I'm going to take this and just take everything that you own, and you're going to have nothing. This is all mine.
If that doesn't perfectly describe my experience on League of Legends, I don't know what else does.
It's so unbelievable. And I don't even play a MOBA that is super popular. I play Pokemon Unite, right? Like the lowest of low. And we still get those people. Like today, I had someone thinking that I screwed them over, like they didn't overcommit, and it was my job to save them from the 3 people that were coming after them. Sorry, I'm just this little Eevee that can't do anything.
But we have said before, and Faye, you can chime in here. We have said before that 90% of your problems can be solved by server selection.
Yes. Do not play on Black Moon, okay? Do not play on Black Moon. Just don't. Play somewhere else.
I get the allure.
This is a community service here. We're doing the people a favor.
Just play somewhere else.
I get wanting to be on a populated server because
the streamer server, being on the streamer server and trying to get yourself on stream,
right?
Streamers and everything.
It's unbelievable. We're lucky that Stormona is low population, and hopefully with Druid it'll pipe back up there to 3/4 of the circle filled in again. But in the meantime, I'm loving the people that have stuck around. Like we've built this very nice server. We don't have a whole lot of contested anything. Do we have a bunch of summoners that are, loot crazy for no reason? Yeah. But once they figure out there's no one to sell this shit to, it just sits there in their bank forever. They stop. Like it's that simple. But on Black Moon, when you got 3 of those things, I think the worst thing that could happen is that we shard it out again. They need to hard cut the shards. Those have got to go. You got to spread it out. It can't just be all on Black Moon and whatever the other 2 really populated servers are.
As part of that, there was like some confusion about like first to engage and that sort of thing. And there seemed to be some contradictions, but it was mostly about, like, again, the style of how it was happening. Again, it's a very fine line. And when VR says we don't support first to engage, they're really talking about like when like two groups fight for like a named mob or something like that, and they're
Right.
talking about loot. Whoever does the most damage is going to get it. There seemed to be some contradiction to that when like Sav was dealing with the issue, but she was really just saying they've brought it in and they're fighting it, and you're just keep pulling it away from them consistently. If they've already engaged it, just find something else to kill.
Yeah, if I've put the arrow in it, it's mine. There should be nothing else going on. If you're trying to taunt it away, then that is certainly harassment or kill stealing or whatever you want to call it.
One or two mobs, okay, you guys are in the same area, you're going to bump up against each other.
Sure.
But if every mob you're going after them, then you're a jerk and you need to be booted out.
Yeah. And don't try to read too much into somebody in the moment saying like they hit it first or taking it. That's not the whole story. That's just part of the context for that situation.
Also, it's like 11 p.m., maybe close to midnight. Like, are you kidding? I just don't understand how anybody could be so upset and not find anything. If it were Drac and I, and we were in a group and someone was there, we would just go elsewhere. We don't care. We don't need that loot. It's not that important. We're just here for XP and we want to see the mob and see what it drops and, kill it ourselves. But if someone's already there, we're moving on. We're going to move to Halnir or Hangor or something else. It's fine.
Yeah. Or deeper in the dungeon or somewhere else, whatever.
But I'm also of the opinion that like if you're there and there's stuff to go around, you shouldn't have to move. Like you shouldn't be forced to move just because somebody else wants to lay claim to the entire camp when they can't hold the whole camp.
Yeah.
100%.
And in that camp, there's more than enough of those werewolves to go around. More than enough. So I'm sorry that there's like the one name that's up there, but like deal with it. Yeah. You're there for XP. If you're there for loot, then, just wait till it's your turn. Didn't we used to have like lines in EverQuest? Like people would...
Yes, you had lists. You had group lists for like...
hey, when you're done, can you send me a tell and I'll take over the camp?
Yeah. Or even just like, oh, there's a group here. I'll get on their list and like when somebody leaves, I can get into the group. Yeah, I used to... Nice little, handshake agreements and stuff like that.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Well, 30 years later, we're not nice people, I guess.
But unfortunately, this whole situation has brought about some, and I believe there was already an announcement about it, I forget. But there's brought some changes to how Sav in VR is going to operate as opposed in relation to reports and that sort of thing. And it's unfortunate, but the days of GMs and stuff just kind of showing up and like messing around and hanging out and stuff like that is basically over.
That's sad.
It is sad. I think we got our money's worth, though.
Like, oh man, it's so much fun to have Sav just pop in and hand you a piece of pizza and just be like, and you're just sitting there like, this thing doesn't do anything, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
There's a reason that you didn't just let $40 people come in, right? Like you want serious people that are gonna play nice, right? If you've invested $1,000, and I use the word invest very loosely, then you're gonna not mess this up, right? You're not gonna screw people over. You're not gonna get yourself banned. You've put money into the game, and you don't want to see that just all disappear because you wanted a piece of fake loot that's gonna get wiped in 2 days anyway. But yeah, now that we've got a bunch of people and they've not really paid the amount of money that people care about, like $40, a lot of people, that's just throwaway money. I'm not saying that's throwaway money for everybody, but for the people that are playing this game, it is. And
that's not even 2 meals at McDonald's.
I love my double cheeseburgers.
WoW expansions are $40. So
exactly.
Like, you get the whole game for the same price as a WoW expansion.
Exactly. And so people don't care. They will troll all they want to because it doesn't matter to them. They can just buy another account if they really want to.
And speaking of which, a big part of the issue too is that when Sav or whoever, or even a green name comes in and they're like, hey, that's against the rules, stop that. people go like, oh, it's not explicitly written that we can't do this thing, and
Okay.
guys, come on, rules are written very broadly for a reason. Just because we tell you explicitly you can't dupe your corpse 1,000 times and duplicate all your money 1,000 times doesn't mean it's not against the rules. It says right there, don't
Jeez.
exploit.
Well, and the part of the issue is it seems like a lot of the testers push back directly against GMs.
Yes.
When Sav comes in and says, don't do that, that is
Yeah.
like the final authority. Like, what the heck? If she tells me not to do something, I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to do that, because obviously she knows what the heck she's talking about. And I must be misinformed.
It's been happening for a while, unfortunately, that the people go like, you're not stopping me from doing this directly, so I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you stop me. And Sav has basically said, okay, bet. And now people are actually starting to face action for it. So
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that the whip is being cracked, because it definitely needs to happen. Luckily, we don't see it, firsthand on our server, but to know that it's being taken care of is good.
Yeah, and we're big fans of Savanya. We champion her here on the Rewind and at Static Group Live. So go get him, Savanya. Take him down and root him out.
In line with those other changes, unfortunately, you won't be able to DM any of the devs or Sav or Artois anymore.
Oh, really? None across the board?
None across the board. They're
Wow.
just cutting off DMs because people abused them too much. People abused them, and so that's no more of that. And so now any communications that you might get through Discord are going to come through I think right now it's the Pantheon bug tracker.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
That's just temporary right now while they figure everything out.
So they're going to disable it for everybody, like just across the board?
Yeah, no DMing VR employees anymore.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
We've gone big time. That's what happens when you have 100,000 accounts, right?
Yeah, there's over 30,000 people in the Discord now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Dude,
I ping Sav a lot. Like, not a lot. I mean, not like every day, but like, every couple of 2-3 weeks, I'll ping her and say, hey, what? Because I have questions. Like I pinged her because we were doing a Druid video though. But I was like, hey, just making sure we can use Joppa's stream for our Druid video. And she's like, yeah, no problem. Now, if that's going to be gone, that's going to be sad.
It's just unfortunate that it's just become too much, because it's still just Sav and Artois for the
yeah. No, it is. It's just two people. That's not enough.
And so it's just the two of them and over 30,000. And green names, we're just Discord mods. We don't really have any power or say in the game. We can hop.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
We can hop in and say you can't do that, and they can tell us to F off, and that's about it.
If they're not listening to Sav, they're definitely not listening to you.
Do not compare yourself to a mall cop.
The mall cop at least has a Segway and a taser.
That's true. That is true. Well, we'll just have to get you a Segway and a taser
then. But some positive changes coming from some of the recent drama will be more kind of concentrated actual testing. You saw the announcement I went out today.
Yeah.
And today being Thursday when we are recording this. And there's going to be testing cohorts. A little bit more about that is that these will be cycled through. And, it said in the announcement that they don't want pre-made groups and guilds and stuff to come in.
Yep.
Partly it's just to attempt to remove any appearance of favoritism, but also just so that people actually get out of their comfort zone and don't just group with the same 6 people the whole time when they're testing, so that you can actually get some good testing information. And those cohorts will that'll be, I believe it's going to be a 24/7 test server essentially, but people who will be testing it will only have access for a certain amount of time, and then they'll cycle in other people as time goes on.
Wow.
Okay.
So cool. Like a real testing environment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super cool. I like it. I like it a lot. The weird thing for me is they're going to use people's names in the test server.
I think isn't that going to weed people out though? I think it's actually a good thing.
I mean, it probably will, but I was just sitting there thinking I don't even like. I've known Daimlos for 25 years, and I've known his real name for 25 years, but I don't call him his real name. I call him Daimlos.
Even his children know me as Uncle
That's
Daimlos.
100% true. It's Uncle Daimlos.
Which is fine. Daimlos is way better than my real name, so it's good.
It's all fun.
You can always just change your name.
That's true. That is true.
I don't think the wife's going to go for me renaming myself to Drac. I just don't think she's going to be in for that.
How would you, Daimlos, how would you like getting the mispronunciation in real life all the time?
That's the biggest reason I have not changed it.
Dimloss?
I have absolutely thought of it.
Is there a dim loss here?
Dim loss? Anybody? Dim loss? It's fine. I guess that's how they pronounce it in the game I ripped it off from. So it is what it is there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even know that the game that I had, of course, didn't have voice acting, but then in Japan they re-released like an updated version for the PlayStation 2, and it did have voice acting, and it's pronounced Dimnose.
All right, Fate. Anything else for us?
No, that'll be it.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Have me on.
We really appreciate you stopping by, giving us the inside scoop. Anytime, just let me know.
All right, will do.
All right, Jack, that was so awesome having Fate on. I'm super glad she had some time to take and chat with us, because she's right. That line is very blurred, and it's good to get that correction out there. Hopefully this will span out to our listeners and our listeners' listeners, and the word will get out there that can stop. So, well, let's move on with the show. I did briefly want to talk about something we talked about last week, and we talked about how we felt on the user side that things were breaking all the time, or the same thing was breaking over again. So the situation that we talked about, Jack, just to remind you, is this login server thing where people can log in twice. That's an exploit. Do you remember talking about that last week?
Oh my goodness, I so remember talking about it. You know what else I remember? I remember the nasty YouTube comments that people left us that told us that we don't know anything about business.
Oh. Turns out our business knowledge is at an all-time low.
And then we're just a couple of socialists from Canada, and we don't know nothing. So I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Nebraska, Canada, same thing, right?
I mean, basically, yeah.
Certainly the most socialist state in the United States is Nebraska.
You know, I grew up in the most socialist rural area of the world.
Anyway, thank you for those comments, and they do, like I said in the intro, help move the show along. But I did also have a lot of people reach out that do work in the business, not just business adjacent, but actually work in the business. And they did try to layperson explain this to me, because I'm not a programmer. I'm not a computer guy. I know electronics. We obviously play games on our computers. That's about as far as I go. You know, have a degree in music, so like computers is not my thing. Although, Drac, you do have a degree in programming, so
I got that comp sci degree, baby, comp sci.
Yeah. So you've got a better clue about this, and kind of when we went over it, and I'll let you chime in on your side of the things too. But the way that this went down is that it turns out that things are built in loops. You go from one thing to another thing to another thing and to another thing, and it closes out. The way that it was best explained to me was if you're pulling a mob, for instance. So you pull the mob, it has commands to do certain things from there. It'll walk towards you, it'll sniff you out, it'll do all sorts of things. But if you put something new in and say it breaks the line at it doesn't sniff you anymore, well, then it breaks the mob. It breaks the whole loop, right? So if one part of the loop stops, it just looks like it's broken. And you can even do completely different things to the loop, but it'll look like it's the same thing that's broken. And so this is kind of what's going on is that they're making changes to the login server. It's breaking the loop. So they've done the fix, they've realized the problem, but they've done something new, and it's kind of caused something to look exactly the same. It might not be the exact same thing. Now, it could be. Now, obviously, we can go into this a little further, and I know you will, Jack, but something else has gone on. Something new and different has gone on, but it has the same result. So this is totally normal. What I'm thinking in my brain, the way it looks, is the layperson user, which is who I am. And so that's why I needed to get it off that chest. So I really appreciate all the people that left comments, that reached out to me personally in DMs, and to try to explain this to me, because I am completely clueless to this stuff. So thank you, listeners, for listening to me rant about something that I know nothing about. It feels that way. So I'm glad to know that it's not just people working on the wrong patch or something really dumb like that. It's actually, they're trying to improve the game, and it is just kind of breaking the loop, unfortunately. But Drac, I thought your perspective on this was really good, so feel free to light it up.
Great. Well, I was thinking too, like, okay, so they're re-breaking it. It's the same symptom, but a different thing is causing it. So that makes a lot more sense in my mind.
Right.
That like we're just because it looks like the same thing is happening doesn't mean the actual same thing is happening on our end. It's just the same symptom on our end. So we can't tell. It could be something else is breaking the login server, causing it to be able to log into multiple accounts at the same time. That doesn't mean the exact same problem is still happening. It's a new problem because they added a new thing.
Exactly. Just trying to improve it. And it just happened to hit the same place, or it lagged out in the same place.
Also, they do not have a big QA department right now. Like, it is not a large...
That's us.
Yeah,
we're the QA department.
Well, I mean, like, official QA, right?
Well, now we're going to get those voluntary testers, right? Like
we
were talking about.
I mean, they're trying to spool that up, right? They're trying to spool up more of a QA, more of a, we're going to test things out. But previous to this, it wasn't a large amount of people that are actually QA testing.
Right. Just
mostly
friends testers
and some friends and family, right? Just
get your t-shirts.
Get your t-shirts. So I think this is a good step in the direction. I think with actual volunteer testers that don't know each other and aren't forming pre-made groups, and probably in that situation, you're probably not getting in just to like see how you can cheat the game, right? You're actually going to want to test the game. So I think VR is moving in the correct direction, and I'm happy with this answer. I think that's a win. So
the only problem is we aren't going to get the shady people that know what they're doing as far as breaking it goes, right? Yes. Like we need, hundreds of thousands of people to be trying to actively break the game. That's how these bugs are found. So, when we have just certain volunteer testers, they really are only going to be testing the gameplay, right? Like it's still going to be the same shady people on a certain server that are going to be breaking the game. So
it's a true story.
Keep it up, Black Moon. You're doing your job.
You're doing the Lord's work. Thank you. Well, Timeless, the big news of the week. I don't know if you caught this. The big news of the week is, of course, that Druid has a timeline.
Whoop, whoop.
The marketing department has come in full force with the video.
Full force
created the video, and what is it? Is it a week from this upcoming Wednesday? That's when it's supposed to
5th,
drop,
right? Yeah,
March 5th, I believe, is the drop date. So
when did we get a marketing department?
I don't know. I thought it was
We've never had money for marketing.
I thought it was one guy in the basement, like it was the guy in Office Space with the stapler. I thought that was the marketing department.
Don't touch my Druid.
I thought, like, wasn't Minus? Wasn't he in the marketing department at one point? I don't know.
That's how long it's been.
Listen, if you're in VR, if you are in VR marketing person, I apologize.
Yeah,
it's just
we didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
We did not. We've just never been introduced to you. So,
and please come on the show.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to talk. But yeah, we just don't know.
Now, speaking of marketing, we probably need to do a little marketing of our own.
We do need to do some marketing of our own because we have composed the greatest Druid video of all time.
Oh shit. The greatest?
Well, maybe
is that because it's the only? I think that's yeah. It is 100% fact. It is the greatest because as of this recording, it is and will be the only Druid video out in the internet. Now, I think we've beaten Redbeard.
We did. I think we beat him.
We've beat Krispy Kreme or whatever his name is.
Yeah, we beat Nathan. Like we got everybody on this one.
Yep. So
we're number
go
one.
Check it out. It's just, it's the what to expect when expecting of Druid, right? Yeah. So It's pretty easy, pretty simple. But if you want to, if you think Druid may or may not be right for you, go check it out. We've kind of broken it all down. So made it funny, but give it a click. Watch at least 30 seconds so we get credit for that click, and maybe watch it to the end.
Send it to all your friends.
Yeah, please do that too. We
post it to every Discord. I don't know. Like,
this is our first combo video. Like, let us know if it was good. Let us know if it's something we should be doing. We've got some plans, but we don't really know if it's going to take off. And if we only get like 50 clicks, then that's going to be the last video we do.
This was way too much work for 50 clicks.
Yeah, exactly. If we can get over 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe even more, that'd be wonderful. Maybe 10,000. God, wouldn't that be sweet if we got a 10,000?
If we did 10,000 videos,
we'll make another video for sure.
Making another video, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm just dreaming. Let me Druid dream here.
Let you Druid dream. Anyway, we're excited about Druid. We're excited. Vendini is obviously over the moon. Past Pantheon legends like Desrin maybe making a return. Who knows? It's just an exciting time. Adding a class into the game is always just a huge boon for Pantheon in the past, and it's fun. Even if it's not your class, it's fun.
Plus, there'll be a ton of people coming back, and you'll have groups again, and you can start over something and know that there are going to be a ton of healers out there. So if you want to start that tank or you want to start that summoner, there's going to be a lot of healers out there to group with.
Dude, now is the moment. If you ever wanted to play a tank, this is your day.
This is it.
This is the moment. You want to try out the warrior? This is it. Like, not when they created the warrior, but when they created the druid. That's when you want to play the warrior.
You will always find a healer.
Dude, you're going to log on and people are going to send you tells.
Oh, warrior and 5 druids? Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, Joppa, you get me so excited about classes and abilities. When you say you're someone, I'll come out friends for me. Hey, Joppa, I hoped your words were pure gold. My broken heart is my fault, so now I carry around an extra shaker of salt. Hey, Joppa.
All right. We had 2 streams this week. 1 for 3 hours, 1 for 2.5. So not
what a slacker.
Yeah, kind of slacking this week.
He did say he had a pretty rough week this week, so I don't blame him.
I think he's trying to, they're getting new areas. He's building new dungeons. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, which all sounds
up his
like
favorite class. That's important.
Very
it takes
important.
A lot of time.
Very important. But we had some good stuff this week. I didn't feel like I had to dig a whole lot. There was lots of really good topics that we talked about. Number 1, in the patch that was a week ago, there was the content level, we'll call it content level stretch.
Sure.
Where the conning system and the experience range got greatly reduced. So blues are now way bigger. Like blues don't fall off for like 5 or 6 levels, and greens don't fall off forever. And like, I don't even know, are there gray mobs to me? Because I ran past some dumb mobs in AVP.
Couple level 1s, couple level 2s, everything else is green.
They were coming to get me. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, well, when blues are like 5 to 7 levels, greens are going to be pretty similar. And I think it's cool. It's a good way to work around not having a mentoring system and kind of dealing with the people that started over versus the people that have been playing. The 25s can group with the 15s and even greater now, and it not hurt too much, other than, they're probably not hurting the mob too much if you're doing stuff that's good. But blues are still good experience. We were literally right before this recording streaming with Mr. C, and those blues in Elmere, they were good. I mean, we died a couple times and I made my experience back, and we only played for an hour and a half. So and it was a positive experience bonus. So it sounds like Joppa's looking to kind of cut that down a little bit. But in the meantime, let's enjoy it while we can.
Go get it.
Yeah.
For the first time in my 5-6 years of testing, it finally feels like blues are the best experience in the game. And it's never been like that. They've always said they wanted that, but it's never happened. It's always been like, oh yeah, blues are going to be so much better. And then you go in, you kill a few blues, and then you kill one yellow, and you're like, nope, yellows are still better. Like,
and then you go like, well, let's try a red.
Let's try a
and
red.
Those are so much even better, and you still can kill it, no problem. And
yep.
So
but
this is good.
We finally reached the point where blues are like, yep, this is where you want to be.
Now, of course, that'll be adjusted again. So enjoy it while you can.
It was a week and a half. That's all we got.
That's more than we got in pre-alpha.
That's true. Joppa said an interesting quote. I thought it was kind of funny because sometimes I have this thought. Joppa, quote, if you were to read the Discord, you would think, we don't know what we're doing. We aren't paying attention. And we're just blindly winging every step we take.
Oof.
And
that's quite the quote, Joppa.
But then he went on to say that, like, behind the scenes, they're very carefully planning these things out. They're very carefully, like, moving forward, and that's not actually the way that things happen.
It has to be that way. If they spoiled literally everything, especially if they spoiled everything that people in Joppa's stream asked for, we would have no game. There'd be no fun when the game was released.
It's true.
So just let them do what they've been doing. I know a lot of you are new here, but we've been here for a very long time. This is how it is. They don't want to spoil the whole game for everybody, because what's the point? You've already played it. You paid your $40 and you already played it. Why come back? Well, there's a bunch of other stuff that they're doing in the back. Like, this is just the stuff that they're fine with us seeing. There's stuff out there too. It may or may not be built fully, but there's a lot of planning. There's always a lot of planning going on. There may not always be enough people making the game, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But there's always plenty of ideas going around. Trying to figure out which way they want to take it is kind of the holdup.
I just bring it up because, we give VR a hard time for sometimes because honestly, sometimes it does look like they don't know where they're going. But, just when Joppa explained it, that they do, and that they're just not sharing all the information with us, it made me feel a little bit better.
Again, we've been here for 10 years, not you and I for the full 10, but this game has been going for 10 years. If this, and Redbeard said this 20 episodes ago, if this game was going to die and it was like that, this would already have happened. It would already be gone. But the fact that it is still here and in EA and playable, and we can play
30,000 people in the official Discord. 30,000,
100,000 different accounts.
Crazy.
This is real. It's not just gonna one day go away like it was. Insert your favorite Kickstarter MMO bullshit name here.
100%.
Yeah. So just be patient. Let them do what they do. They're only 10 people, or what was it, 20 total people, and most of those are part-time. So just show a little patience, please. We always, in our little cult, back 10 years ago, we always called it being Pantheon patient. And we just have to be thankful for what we've got, because this used to be nothing. We used to get nothing. Remember the dark times, Drac?
Dude, there was a year and a half where we got Zippo.
Nothing.
Like, no Discord posts, no forum posts, no stream, no nothing. Just zip.
Just thanks for your money. Get the fuck out.
We literally thought this was the end. That's what everybody thought.
Yep.
Like, this was death.
But nope. All these people are still here. The ones that, have made it this far are still here. They're still wanting to do this job. They still want to see Brad's vision come to fruition, even if it's not exactly what Brad's vision was, quote unquote was. They still know him way better than we know him. They're going to take it as best they can in the vision of the game that they want to play. That's what they said. They are making this game to be a game that they want to play and that we all want to play. And that's why they do listen to us, is because they know that it's important that we get what we want too, so that we all play it together in 2 or 3 years when it's done.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. It pumps me up a little bit. Joppa also talked a little bit about his work on classes. He's going to finish up healers, which he's been doing on stream. And then, which Cleric being next, very excited about that. And then he's going to move on to tanks. Are you excited about Joppa's progress with classes on stream?
Drac, you know that I have been bitching for months that tanks have needed to be hit with some Joppa love for a long time. We didn't get any love at EA. I know that we got some skills. Warriors got banners. Paladins got a little bit, some lines built out. But ultimately, we got nothing. Everyone else got lots of nice stuff, and the tanks got nothing. Just the bare minimum to get them to 40. Like, for instance, the Warrior was, before EA, was only built out till 10. They were so far behind everything else, and they still have so little. The only thing that's past 20 are banners, and it's just repeating banners. And that's fine, because that's a big part of the class. But at level 26, almost 27, my action bar is not even full. Tanks need some love. I'm glad that we are doing Cleric, because they do need something else. Druids, he just said today, as of this recording, that Druids should be very well fleshed out. And Shamans, honestly, there are people in his chat that made me want to vomit because they said Shamans need work. They're the most fleshed out class that has ever been from the very beginning. Shamans have always been the most fleshed out class. No one is even close to them. Now people are finally catching up, with the Ranger and Summoner coming in, they're a little closer, but no one has ever been near what the Shaman is. So the fact that people can...
Yeah, if you're complaining about Shaman, you got issues.
That has been the best class for forever. Even when it got nerfed to the bone, it's still the most fleshed out, best class in the game. Yeah. Everything else was nothing in comparison.
It's at varying levels of power, but in terms of depths of spells and amounts of spells and just variety of things the Shaman can do, it's just not even close. The Shaman is the most fleshed out class that there is.
Tanks, on the other hand, nothing.
Hey, nothing. It's just the new limited action bar,
Goodness.
It's just you have a limited action bar of 4 instead of...
Yeah, right. Just limit mine to 4. Let me put 17 banners on my alternate hot bar, and it'll be fine.
It's going to be great.
I am so ready for this, Drac. Tanks have desperately needed love. I don't know if you've seen the last couple patches, but the best thing that has come out for the Warrior is the fucking tooltip update.
The tooltip?
Warrior, tooltip update. Thank you for clarifying my tooltip. Yes, I'm absolutely livid on this shit. Tanks have needed it since before EA. So yes, we are rightfully, deservedly next. Sorry, Deeps. Sorry, Mages. We have to be next. We don't have anything to work with. There's a reason you're constantly stealing aggro away from us, because we don't have everything. It needs to be fleshed out, and we need some new hotness. When's the last time the Dire Lord was updated? A year ago, when Minus made that video about it? That was the last time any real tank has been given any love.
It's been way longer than a year. Minus was still...
Even when the Paladin came out, it was not anywhere close to being fleshed out. It wasn't even close to what the Dire Lord had.
No, it wasn't.
Ugh, the tanks need it. So I'm sorry to go on this rant for 15 minutes, and I'm sure I'll cut a bunch of it out because I dropped the F-bomb a bunch of times. But
I meant to mention that to you. We got to keep it to a minimum, because some of these podcasting platforms, they don't have an adult setting, so they're just assuming you're PG.
Ooh, well, fuck them. I'll clip that.
Well, you may be excited about some tank reworks. I'm excited about robes.
This is another thing. Just has never been worked on.
Never been worked.
We've had 2 robes this entire time.
2 robes.
10 years. 2 robes.
2 robes. But on the screen right now are a whole bunch more robes. And so I cannot wait until these enter the game. I'm so excited. The wizard and the int casters, we only get one thing. We don't get like every single piece of armor. Like you get a wrist piece and all of a sudden you get a new thing, and you get a legs and you get a new thing, and you get boots and you get a new thing. No, we get one thing, just a robe. That's our whole outfit.
Never
so
forget.
It's gotta be baller. Like it has to be good. Like so these robes are pretty good. I'm excited to see how they look in game, and just to look different. I'm tired of brown puke robe or brown, just regular dirty brown robe. It's awful.
Robes are the best. The Oracle robe. Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Oracle robe with the 50 mana.
The light blue with the 2 yellows, what I thought were suns, they could have been stars. Who knows? We're talking like Nintendo 8-bit graphics.
Yeah,
so who knows what they are.
Yeah, you want to talk about actual 8-bit graphics.
Yeah. Yeah. But people knew that you worked your ass off for those. Those were not easy robes to acquire. And they were expensive for a long time. Because they look good, because Fashion Quest is a real thing. So I'm excited for casters to have robes that are meaningful, because like you said, it's your only piece that we see. So it has to be meaningful. And I'm very excited for that.
In Pantheon, it looks like we may get 2 pieces, because it looks like maybe the hood is separate from the robe. Because I have a hood now, and when I take the hood off, the robe doesn't have like a graphic that's over my head. So
I wouldn't know, because whenever you zone, your headpiece and your wrist piece go to naked.
Right. Well, I mean, they'll fix that, but
will they? I'm certainly ready for that.
Well,
maybe that's next on the list.
Another thing they're going to do is they're going to bring Jayan and Ronik back.
They're already back, baby. You want
to talk about having the hair showing? The hair is back. Ronik is back. Okay.
Jayan is back. The lead writer of all the lore. I'm sure Theric is rolling over in his game board grave right now.
Maybe since we got Jayan back, maybe we can get Theric back too. Can I get a 2 for 1?
Oh, that'd be so great. Maybe we can get him back on and we talk about Jayan and how great he is. And
listen, all you podcast listeners, everybody that's listening to us on the Rewind, send this Rewind podcast to Theric. Let's just bombard him with shares to this podcast so he listens to this, and then he comes back to play the Ranger when Druid launches.
Oh, that's a dream. That's a dream. We'd have to get him in our group though, Jack. Like we'd have to static him up so he actually came back and played multiple times, not just one time. Because the 1 through 3 is still the same. So we need to make sure he sees Wild's End and all those places that he's not seen.
Yeah, we got to take him to Wild's End. Absolutely.
Don't bombard him. He wouldn't like that.
No, he'd think it's funny.
Feast your ears upon another Pantheon Community Spotlight. It's your boy Benonai. Spotlight's lit, y'all. Before we delve into anything specific today, we need to mention the major shakeups happening in the Pantheon community. On February 9th, Chris Rohan posted official and final word on the debacle surrounding VR staff and the high-functioning guilds doing special testing. I will not get into this here, as it is not relevant to our discussion and it has been covered much elsewhere. The outcome is bittersweet, obviously. Chris Rohan shares the Pantheon is nearing 100,000 specific users. This came as a shock to me. I can't get a goblin group in Wild's End. Where do I go for that, Chris? The community, until EA opened, has been a small assortment of people, less than 10K maybe, and less than 1,000 actively participating on Discord and in the forums. This has allowed us who have followed the game for some time to build relationships with most everyone on the VR team. We have celebrated with their achievements, we have mourned with them through the loss of team members, and picked fights with them for every reason under the sun. But it was a bit like family. This relationship, in the word of CR, is untenable and inappropriate as we move into this grand new phase. And just when we felt they were starting to get their communication together, Moving forward in this new chapter, VR will be buckling down on the VR client relationships and setting some ground rules that can be manageable to keep a fair and equal treatment to their many fans, old and new alike. And these are as follows. Internal testers won't be testing on your server. Only authorized customer service and community management will be permitted to perform GM commands on live servers. Community engagement guidelines will be adhered to strictly. Find them right here. All GM activity will be logged and scrubbed weekly for any breaches. Now, some of you may be thinking, hey, I already have never played on a live server with some internal testers or had VR staff spawn special monsters for me to check out. And I can attest to you that you are not cool enough. In earnest, though, we do appreciate the cool things that VIPs were able to experience during this crazy ride to this point, and we knew it would have to end eventually. But to VR, we are grateful for the time we shared. And I'll be listening to Boys to Men tonight and thinking about you. Now, on to the real stuff. First up, a big shout out to some recent grinders on the stream scene showing Pantheon some love. Thanks, Flourishing, Type and Click, and Reggae Rogue for giving us some great streams lately. Give them some love, everybody. The absolute real Nathan Napon, yes, of course, it's me for real, is once again blitzing the stream scene with his brilliant war tactics and savage abilities on his tiny Dire Lord. Wait. Yes, he is playing a halfling Dire Lord or a Shire Lord. But I feel like we called that years ago when the Dire swept away his hunger for penitence and justice. Or, as his wife is keen on saying, he's turning into a butthole. Now, the After Dark crew keeps churning out impressive stream thumbnails with catchy titles like Teen Wolf Knoll and Worktastic Voyages, and then attaching it to extremely mid content, even for them. If you want to spend your late nights listening to dad jokes and opines on the lasting effects of too much Bengay, then this is definitely for you. I feel like I'm finally hitting my stride, just bringing the fire like this. Love you, Drac. And one more note, should you have time, the official Discord channel has a channel just for screenshots. If you don't regularly go there, then shame be upon all your female goats. It is fire right now with Unity 6 updates, and there are so many people posting excellent screenies that are great to just sit and go through, not only for their aesthetic beauty, but also for the chance you may see some things you have never seen before. And isn't that why we're all here in the first place? Leave those taking time out to brighten your day with a great scenic view, an emoji, or a reply, and let them know you appreciate their time. A peace, y'all. I'm out.
5,
Drac, I'm so disappointed in you.
4,
Luckily, every week I dominate this list and just destroy Dimos.
3,
I thought you would just tuck your head between,
No
your butt
way!
cheeks.
No, my list is
And
amazing.
It's not at all.
2,
Oh, already your list is the worst. Your list is the worst.
1.
All right, we know a couple of things, Dimos. We know that I'm undefeated in 2025,
Not true.
and we know that you're really good at picking top 5 topics.
This is another one that was at first poo-pooed, but then everyone came around to it. So
Yeah, they did.
We'll introduce it first so we can show the title. This
Yeah.
is going to be top 5 popcorn flavors. When I introduced this, and I don't even know where this came from. Oh yeah, the Dramagate, get your popcorn ready, right? So that's where it all stemmed from. Okay, get your popcorn ready. Well, what are your 5 favorite flavors of popcorn? So thanks to Dramagate and Dramagate 2 Electric Boogaloo, we now have a new top 5 that no one thought of before. Top 5 favorite popcorn flavors. Drac, I'm about to absolutely dominate you this because I love popcorn. We're both from Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
The Cornhusker State. So we know our popcorn.
Do you know that I was on a farm? I grew up on a farm that we grew popcorn.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
specific corn that's used for popping?
Yes. So my dad, we grew both yellow and white popcorn. and he would leave the last 2 rows of the popcorn, and he wouldn't combine it, and we would go out and hand pick the last 2 rows of the popcorn field, and that was for us, the family, and we would have popcorn all year round.
So you'd have to go out there and detassel 2 rows. Ugh.
Yep.
That sounds miserable. I'm so glad I never had to do that job.
Absolutely miserable.
Oh, I'm so glad. And there are people that like force their children to do that.
That's not
shit.
detasseling, by the way. Just FYI, you got the wrong term. But I'll let it slide. You're not a farmer.
I'm definitely not. Old McDracky had the farm, but old McDimlos lives in the city.
Lives in the city.
E-I-E-I-O.
He paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Definitely put up that parking lot. Thank goodness.
We're getting off topic here.
Oh, we're going to have to cut a bunch of that out. Anyway, so good old Nebraska boys, top 5 favorite popcorn flavors. Jack, hit me with number 5.
All right. Now, I know that a bunch of people don't know this because a bunch of people in our Rewind raid chat did not know this.
Well, shocker.
Movie theater popcorn.
Yes.
The reason it's so good is because that's not butter. It's coconut oil. That's what they put on movie theater popcorn to make it taste great.
Yes.
So
super delicious. It does taste like butter though. Like
it tastes absolutely
flavor.
It's like enhanced, amazing, the best butter ever.
Yes.
So that's why number 5, coconut oil on popcorn, nailed it.
I mean, this is definitely on people's lists. Spoiler alert, it is not on mine. And the reason it is not on mine is because as a child, I loved this stuff. But as I've grown older, it's just a giant mess. It's turned into, I have to have 700 napkins tucked away in my pocket as I go to my seat in the movie theater, just so I can wipe it after every gross interaction that I put my hand in the tub with, because it's just my hand comes out pure butter or this coconut oil as we are saying, and it's just gross. Like I then have to wipe it down, and then it doesn't fully come off your hands, right? It's oil, so it's in your pores and your fingerprints, and it's gross. So I can't even stand movie theater butter popcorn anymore. When I go to the theater, I still want popcorn, but I just salt only for me. I've grown up. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's just a salt only situation.
I'm Dimos and I'm such a princess that I can't stick my hand in the thing and get it a little dirty.
I can't believe you just called me a princess, you son of a bitch.
Just get out.
Listen,
there's no excuse for this. This is
it's city living. It's city living.
Whatever. You go be metrosexual somewhere else.
Okay, will do. Well, my number 5 Drac is one of the best flavors of all time, not just on popcorn, but on most everything, and that is dill flavored popcorn. The reason that
wait, is this a troll? No, serious? Are you trolling me here?
Listen, Western Nebraska.
Are you kidding
just because
me
you don't have gourmet popcorn shops where you live doesn't mean that us city folk haven't indulged in different flavors that have been put on popcorn. And that number 5 is absolutely dill flavored popcorn. It's wonderful.
Okay, I was just making sure that we're just not trolling me, that I fell asleep in a dream, a top 5 dream.
I'm going to send you a link. Most of the flavors that are on my list are from Miller's popcorn. That's my kind of go-to. There are plenty of gourmet popcorn flavors that you can go to, but I just tend to like theirs the best. And they've got interesting flavors that I like. But dill is absolutely on that list. I can't wait to talk about the rest of these flavors because they're so unbelievably delicious. So, well, let's get on with it. What's your number 4, Drac?
Number 4 is, of course, coconut oil on popcorn, because it is not only the 5th best option for popcorn, it is also the 4th best option for popcorn, because it is the only option for popcorn. There is nothing better than coconut oil on popcorn. It is traditional, it is the best, and it is also number 4.
I sense a pattern starting to happen. And because GuloGulo was a badass for doing this with pepperoni on the pizza, top 5 pizza toppings, I'm going to let this one slide a little bit. But no, that you have lost. You have already lost.
I've not lost because
Okay.
you have put dill on your popcorn. That's an automatic lose. I don't know what you're doing
Get out.
over there.
Get out. I'm not even the only one of the lists that we're going to go over that have put dill in there. So it's absolutely delicious.
Awful. I don't even know what word. You put this list out, and I was like, "What do you mean? There are no flavors for popcorn. There's one flavor. That's it's either butter, which is the cheap way and kind of the gross way, or there's coconut oil. That's your two options. That's it. There's no other options.
That's just exactly what I'd expect from old Western Nebraska.
All right. Well, let's hear about your number 4. Taste.
I love this one, Drac. Number 4 is rainbow.
Are you aware that rainbow's not actually a flavor?
Well,
it's not a flavor.
In this case, it is.
No, it's not. It's not a flavor. It's a made-up thing.
It's because it looks like the rainbow. It's all the colors
so
of the rainbow.
Food coloring that they put in it, that's what the rainbow is?
Yeah, it's really just sugar is really what it is.
Yeah, so you put
it's
sugar.
Just sugar popcorn is what it is. But I like the different colors. It makes me feel good. And then when I poop it out later, rainbow.
I thought you were supposed to be this sophisticated city dweller when you're putting food coloring and sugar on your popcorn. That sounds like
sometimes we don't grow out of things.
Yeah, sometimes that sounds like my 9-year-old.
Which is fine. That's who it's marketed to. But I also like to eat some Fruity Pebbles sometimes, or some kid stuff.
What happened to I Grew Up? That was 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, But there's sometimes I really like to relive my childhood.
Yeah.
If you remember, today is
Pokemon
lost. Day, and I still 29 years later love Pokemon. So guess what? 43 years later, I can still love rainbow popcorn.
Yeah. Listeners, you can tell when Daimos is losing because he brings up Pokemon. That's when he's really desperate, and that he's just getting his butt kicked all over the place. So,
all right, coconut oil, get out of here. No, we need your number 3.
Oh, well, you know what my number 3 is. My number 3 is, of course, coconut oil.
Okay,
because there are no other options.
Yeah,
it's coconut oil or butter, and you don't want butter. If you have the choice, you want coconut oil.
Okay, on to my number 3. Great. I'm so happy that you have ruined the sanctity of the top 5 yet again. Anyway, my number 3 is jalapeno cheddar. Now, that being said, I don't like overly spicy anything, but I do like the flavor of jalapeno. And then when you mix it with the cheddar, it really cuts that hotness out. So really, when you're eating the jalapeno cheddar, this isn't like habanero cheddar or habanero cheese or just straight, ghost pepper popcorn. Like, it's not that. It's the lowest of the low. It's the jalapeno, and it's mixed in with a base to kind of cut that heat as well. So I just really like the flavor of cheese and jalapeno together. So yeah, putting it on some popcorn is absolutely delicious, and my number 3 of top popcorn flavors. Jack, I don't even want to go to.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Pause. Just pause.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't want to stick your hand in the popcorn because you might get a little coconut oil on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you're gonna slather your popcorn in cheese jalapeno sauce, and then you're gonna put your hand in there.
Powder, not gross oil.
So you're taking artificial powder.
Yes.
And putting it in your popcorn.
Yeah, and I'm going to lick that off my hands like there's some Cheetos. Yep. Totally delicious.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever you need to do. I like to be organic, because I grew up on a farm.
Coconut oil, the most organic thing you can put on popcorn.
Very, very organic.
It comes straight from the coconuts.
It does. You put the lime in the coconut.
There's definitely no processing that happens with the coconut oil to make it. It's just straight. You just crack open. It's basically just coconut milk, only it's the oil of the milk.
Oil of the coconut.
Oh, God. I don't even want to ask for your number 2 because I already know what it is.
Number 2 is, of course, coconut oil.
Right.
Great
job.
It is the best. Still the best. At number 2.
Okay.
How about your number 2?
My number 2 is kind of an oddball one, but if we go back to, I think we did favorite flavors of something, or I don't remember, but
I don't know,
if you know me-
popsicles or
Something.
gum or
maybe it was gum. No, that's not right. We'll
Yeah,
have to-
or I don't know any.
it doesn't matter. Number
Skittles?
two,
Skittles. This is this would be a number 2 Skittles flavor.
yeah. Well, it should be your number 2 popcorn flavor
No,
too,
it
because
should
it is
not.
grape.
Yeah.
Grape popcorn.
Gross, that's so gross.
Listen, we're putting the Miller's popcorn link into the chat below. So
you
that
are. I'm not.
you definitely are. You put it in there, and we're going to drive people to this website, and then they're going to sponsor us.
No.
Just put in when you're going to put in your 0% off
I
coupon.
would rather Big Maple sponsored us than the
Miller's
crappy
popcorn.
grape
Just
popcorn.
type in the word rewind to get your 0% discount on their website. But yes, they have great popcorn, and I love grape, and this is the best grape popcorn, at least that I've had. So definitely,
Well-
if you are a fan of grape, which I know there are out there, Dorkachu looking at you, order this grape popcorn. You will enjoy it immensely.
I mean, if I want a slushy, I would definitely go with grape.
Absolutely.
Like I would do a grape slushy, but not popcorn. Like this
They
is
also,
insane.
are you ready for this? They also have Mountain Dew flavor, Dr.
Ugh,
Pepper flavor. They even
no.
have Code Red Mountain Dew flavor.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
This is awful.
Yep. So if you like sugar popcorn, that's not caramel, because caramel corn is gross. Blech.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
No, I'm out on that too.
Yeah. That's my number 2, and on to Drax. Lame, same old number 1.
No, my number 1 is totally different.
Oh,
Totally-
really?
Yeah, totally different.
Okay, great.
All
Let's
right.
hear it.
My number 1 is, of course, coconut oil, but it's at the actual movie theater because the movie theater does it better than you can do it at home. So you have to actually go to the movie theater to get the coconut oil to be number 1.
I hate you. The only redeeming factor of your list is that this went real quick, and I'm not going to have to edit a whole bunch out. So
That's true.
great.
And I just chalk up more wins. So, it's a win-win-win for me. How about your number 1? Can we go with maybe lemon lime or something in a, I don't know, more rainbow or?
No. The number 1, and there's no doubt, and everyone in the chat right now on Saturday is like, where's the cheddar? Where's the cheese flavored popcorn? And it's right here, everybody. Number 1, cheese flavored popcorn. Just like the Cheetos and the jalapeno cheddar that I talked about before, I love getting that shit all over my hands and licking it up off my hands because I'm a filthy American. Nom, 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 nom. Something about cheese popcorn is the best. It's always, when you get those gross Christmas popcorn tins that are the 3 flavors, and you've got gross ass caramel, you've got okay salted regular flavor, but the cheese is always gone first.
The
Always
salted
gone.
popcorn in those tins
It's
are awful.
okay.
No, it's horrible.
It's edible at best.
No, it's
but
not.
it's certainly not gross ass caramel corn.
I mean, you are correct in one thing that you've said, which is the cheese is the best option in those things.
Here's what's the worst.
But the even better option is just to give it to your kids and
Yeah.
don't eat any of it.
No, because I like the cheese.
And then you
the
take
worst.
the rest of the Christmas candy for yourself.
Yeah, that's accurate. Now, the worst is when these crazy people out there like mix all of them together. Like they'll just pull out
You
the sectionals,
like a
of it.
rainbow? Like a rainbow where they mix all the things
it's
together?
cheddar,
like
caramel,
like
and regular.
yeah,
all
like a
together.
rainbow.
No,
You could-
shut. Rainbow is colors, you idiot. Not brown, orange, and white. That's not a rainbow.
It's kind of a rainbow.
No. I don't know what kind of effed up rainbows you had in Western Nebraska, but that's not the rainbows we had in Eastern Nebraska. Get out of here. Yeah, and they sell that stuff too. Like they will sell the combo of the cheese and caramel
What?
together. Oh yeah. If you look on that website that's linked below, that now you have to because I've said it, you can order that stuff by the bag. Gross.
I can't even.
Totally gross.
Just, my stomach is hurting just thinking.
I agree.
About it.
I agree. It's super gross. Okay, Drac, hit the sound.
Ba-da-da-doo, ba-da-da-doo, ba-da-da-doo.
And up pops the Patreon list. Here we go.
I mean, I'm not even sure that I'm really qualified to talk about any of these.
You're
lists.
definitely not. Your coconut oil has made you the least expert of anything popcorn.
I feel
And
like
you used to grow it on a farm.
I did.
And you're still the least expert.
There are a few. There's a couple. Nope. I count 1, 2, 3, 4 redeeming choices on our Patreon's list.
I wonder why.
Yep, four Patreons and 4 of their selections got it right. So
Okay, well, we're just gonna kind of ramble through these. Zip, we're gonna go first because Zips is like the most normal.
Zip.
What's wrong with? Listen,
buddy.
First off, he's got rainbow. Great.
Yeah, that's the problem.
No, that's wonderful. He's got peanut butter or peanut chocolate drizzle, which, if you are a gourmet popcorn lover, this is good. It's basically just. Well, I mean, it's peanuts and chocolate. What's wrong with that?
If I'm going to do peanuts and chocolate, I'm going to skip the popcorn and just do peanuts.
Just eat a Reese's peanut butter cup. I agree. Exactly. I agree where you're at on this.
If that's how we're going. If we're going to have the calories, then I'm going to skip the popcorn.
Yeah, fair. I definitely agree with you on that. There are better ways to inhale peanuts and chocolate at the same time, and it's not necessarily over popcorn. But I would still eat it. Like, I'm not kicking this out of bed, right? Like, it's. I would definitely, if I had a bag, I would absolutely.
You had dill on your list, so is there anything here that you're actually going to kick out?
Yes, caramel. Caramel is number 3, and I'm absolutely kicking that out. I hate caramel. It's the worst flavor. I can't believe it's on anybody's list. I guess there are a lot of people out there that like caramel corn, but why would you eat caramel corn when you could have rainbow popcorn, which is way better? Anyway, here's one of your redeeming ones: movie theater butter.
Yeah,
boring. But number 1, cheese. How about that? Cheese is on number 1 for Zip too. That's why he and I get along so well. So rainbow and cheese, not together. Never together.
Yikes.
Next, let's hit Screeches up because there's one that's a little weird in here. And it's not chili lime, surprisingly. Chili lime is good. I don't necessarily care for this flavor too much. And maybe that's because I just don't really necessarily like Mexican food in general.
I think sour is a weird taste for popcorn, isn't it? That's what my problem with dill as well. Like,
no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I don't know.
But the chili lime, it's not my favorite combo of flavors. So, but I understand that there are people out there that like it. But that's number 4. That caramel bullshit has got to go. Like, that's just not good. This is the weird one though. Garlic Parmesan, and he had to break this out. It
came with ingredients. I love it.
we maybe this is like his homemade garlic Parmesan, and that's cool. But he specifically stated out, and we can't write this all out on the sheet, so I have to say it.
Yeah,
but he uses nutritional yeast, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know how that's different than regular yeast.
It's nutritional.
It's nutritional.
It's a vegetable.
Garlic powder, good. Olive oil, so not coconut oil. And then Parmesan cheese popcorn. So maybe he takes the Parm cheese popcorn and then adds this other stuff on top of it to make his own version of Parmesan garlic.
Okay, yeah. So he's taking the cheese popcorn and then putting the garlic on it.
Maybe he'll likely be live here, so he'll let us know in the comments below. But it was weird. But honestly, wasn't this like our favorite flavor of chicken wing?
Yeah, but again, chicken wing, not popcorn.
No, I get it.
No.
But he had your number 2 as well, movie theater, and my number 1. So cheese seems to be on the top of people's lists.
Awful choices here.
There you go. Next, let's hit up Archbishops. And the only reason I want to leave Dwimble last is because he's got a story for his. So Archbishops, for his number 5, is Furikake. Furikake. No one knows how to say this. Because what it is, if you don't know, which I didn't, I had to look this up. It is Japanese seaweed seasoning made of seaweed, salt, sesame seed, and sugar. This is a real thing. I've never heard of this until today. Archbishops is the first person to tell me that Furikake is a thing. So I had to go look it up. I'm never going to order this because I kind of prefer my sweets and salts separate. So this is a no-go for me.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you prefer your sweets and salts separate?
Sometimes I don't. There are things like
you mean like in pretzels. Rainbow and dill?
That's just sweet. Dill is just salt.
The popcorn itself is savory.
Not when it's covered in sugar.
Well, I
The
suppose
salt
if
has
you-
got. There's no salt put on it.
But at some point, if you cover it with enough sugar that you're
It's
not
just a straight sugar.
tasting the popcorn, then why are you eating the popcorn?
Because it's the texture.
Oh,
Ah, get over yourself, Drac. Stop.
jeez.
Listen, Mr. Coconut Oil, you don't even get to talk. Speaking of coconut oil, Archbishop's number 4, movie theater. Number 3, aged white cheddar, but specifically the brand Pirate's Booty,
Pirate's
which
Booty.
is honestly terrible.
Which my
like-
kids eat. I
Yeah,
put that in their
that's-
lunches.
Yeah, that's like little baby 5-year-old popcorn.
That's
That sounds like Archbishop's.
my daughter when she was 3. There's nothing she liked more than me to crack open the little pirate booty and spread
Yeah.
the little things on her.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
When I was 3 years old and saw the word booty on my popcorn, I loved it because it's funny. Ha ha, booty. Ha ha ha, booty.
Yeah.
But now that I'm an adult, I eat gourmet popcorn. Aged
Yeah.
white cheddar is a good choice, but Pirate's Booty, there's so many better white cheddars out there.
Yikes.
Ugh. It's probably just because that's
Yeah.
what he picks up at Costco.
Well,
Anyway,
it's about as funny as his number 2. So
which is dill. Look at that. We have another dill sighting.
yikes.
Yeah, buddy.
No.
So
it's
you're
awful.
your furikake is redeemed by the dill, but also jalapeno infused olive oil. I do.
How is that different? What? Oh,
There's no cheddar involved,
I don't know.
but yeah, it's jalapeno flavor. I like the flavor of jalapeno. It's just that, when there's seeds mixed in there, it gets a little hot and I don't like it. But the actual flavor of a jalapeno is wonderful. So if you can take away the heat for me, I love that flavor. So I'm down. Kind of like jalapeno chips back in the day before they like made them hot. There just used to be jalapeno flavored chips. They weren't hot at all. They just
Right.
tasted like a jalapeno. I love that. Love it. So
I mean, that's my level of hotness that I live in, right?
yeah, right. Same.
It's Nebraska hot,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
Yep.
we're a 5 everywhere we go.
Can I get a -1
Yeah.
on that hotness level?
I'd like your mildest flavor and then mild it some more, please.
The running gag for me is if it's hotter than ketchup, then I'm out.
Yes,
So,
yes, that is the land in which I roll.
yeah. I'm right there with you. Anyway, let's move on to Dwimble and wrap this thing up. So Dwimble decided, because he was like you, Drac, popcorn illiterate. And so he was going to just kind of put up this very boring list, but decided that for the rewind, because this is a special thing for him.
Yeah, he told me
he's
about
still
this.
new.
He was
Yeah.
very excited.
He went out to a gourmet popcorn shop in tiny little town, Texas, and bought
In
like
his
a
white van.
smorgasbord. No, the white van's gone.
Come on, don't
He-
ruin it.
I know. But he's got some sort of Subaru now or something stupid like that. He went to a gourmet shop and bought a smorgasbord of
Yeah.
different popcorn flavors so he
Sampled
could
them.
review them for our list, so he could come to the rewind with a real educated list, because that's just what he want to do.
This
And
is
so-
this is what you call taking it seriously. This is
Exactly.
bringing your A game right here,
Yep.
people.
Yep. If you want to join the raid party, this is the level of commitment that we're looking for. So I am going to take this list as new to popcorn flavors and just initial reaction. Like, he's never had any of these flavors before, other than maybe number 5 in movie theater popcorn. But all these others, these are all brand new to him. So for them to be on a list, this means a lot. He's had some flavors in his day, but he's now expanded his palate past a 3-year-old and has really reached out. So number 4, Dill. Look at that.
Before Pirate Booty. Now, awesome list.
Exactly. So number 4, Dill. Great choice. Just a great choice. I love dill pickle. Number 3, popcorn. Look at that. Dwimble and I seem to be having some
Both
sort of
love
connection
sugar.
here. Well, I do
Shocking.
love sugar. Then he went to some of the real gourmet popcorn with the chocolate drizzle. This is, it's a beautiful coating. I prefer that, it still have some popcorn to it a little bit. It doesn't need to necessarily taste like popcorn, but like the chocolate drizzle is just like lazy gourmet popcorn, right? Like
The
it's not-
drizzle, the drizzle should be a drizzle. It shouldn't be like dipped in chocolate. Is that what you're saying?
More so the opposite, honestly.
Oh, you want it dipped in chocolate, not just drizzled. Okay.
Yeah. So this is
So
just
you
kind
don't
of
again.
lazy.
You just don't want to taste the popcorn at all. You're just
No.
here for the condiments of popcorn. That's really your list.
That's not true. I do like regular
You're just
flavored
like
popcorn.
I'd really like to eat some dill. I want some sugar that's colored. I really want to just have some, jalapeno cheese. That sounds good, and a little grape flavor. I don't actually like popcorn itself.
Shut up. You're so ridiculous. Let's wrap this thing up. And his number one is jalapeno cheddar, which was my number 3. So he had a brand new palate to gourmet popcorn.
Jeez.
Picked 3 of my top 5, just without even him knowing what my top 5 is. These are the best to a brand new palate of popcorn. So of course I win. There's no question that I win. His movie theater was his number 5. Like all my other choices were better than your 5 choices.
I guess if you don't like popcorn and you live in a city, then I guess you win.
You don't like popcorn either if you're putting just coconut oil all over it and slathering it.
Because you can actually taste the popcorn.
It doesn't taste like popcorn. It tastes like butter.
No, it does not taste like
Oh
popcorn.
my God. All right, this is over. I'm done arguing with you. You're so ridiculous. You're not even as cool as Grogu doing all pepperoni. You're like below all of that. You're the last place of all the lists presented today. You are last place.
Whatever. I like my list.
I'm sure you do. No one else does in the chat.
Before you leave, we've one final word. Before you've forgotten all that you've heard, there is a moment evergreen. Stay here a while and listen to me.
All right, Daimlos. Well, it's time to say goodbye.
What again?
It's every week, man. It's kind of sad. Like we set ourselves up for so much fun, and now we got to say goodbye.
We do have a lot of fun on this show. I mean, that's why we keep coming back, right? Like, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. We're like 25 episodes deep, maybe even more now. I understand why Theric and Minus and Desrin did this for such a long time. It's fun. The grind is real. I will say that it is very much a gauntlet to put this out because it's tough. So we really appreciate you all for listening. I do too. It adds a little structure. It's fun. We have a good time. We get to kind of just talk about whatever we want to, and then, throw some Pantheon stuff in there from time to time. Really appreciate everybody for listening. All our Patreon people, all our listeners over on Spotify and Apple and all those different podcast platforms. Keep on listening. We really need clicks over on the Spotify stuff or on the podcast stuff so that we can start getting our own Blue Chew commercials.
Ooh, I just thought of something. I tried this last night because I was thinking about it. It took a while to get activated, but you can now listen to the Rewind on Alexa.
Oh,
yeah,
look
absolutely.
at you.
So if you tell Alexa, here, I'm going to activate it off of, if anybody's listened to this on a speaker and has an Alexa in the room, I'm going to activate it.
Nice.
So if you go to your Alexa and you say, Alexa, I'd like to hear the Pantheon Rewind podcast, it will absolutely play the latest version of the Pantheon Rewind.
Playing Pantheon Rewind, Drac.